If you're tired of watching videos with the same old tips, tricks, ways that people learned Spanish, then you are in luck, because in today's video, I am sharing the weird, unconventional, strange, funny ways that I personally learned Spanish. Workbooks, exercises, verb conjugation tables, lessons with private tutors, group classes, all those things have been a part of my language learning journey. But the offbeat experiences that I'm going to share with you today have made a huge difference with my Spanish. Planning a wedding. When Taylor proposed, he did so in Querétaro, which is where we were living at the time. And it just was very natural that we were going to have our wedding in Mexico. Mexico had already been our home for over 4 years at that point. And we really wanted to share this country with our loved ones back home from the United States, and also to have our friends here in Mexico be able to attend. It was really important to me, really important to us, that we hired a Mexican wedding planner. It just made sense to me. If you're gonna get married in Mexico, hire a Mexican wedding planner. We found the most incredible wedding planner in Puerto Escondido, a woman by the name of Abril, a complete, total, utter professional. I do know that Abril has planned weddings for other foreign couples, so I'm guessing that she probably does speak some English. However, we communicated entirely in Spanish. And wow, was that ever good for my language skills. Over the course of the year that Abril and I were working together to plan the wedding, we were sending lots of messages back and forth via WhatsApp, typed out messages, text messages, as well as voice messages, just talking about our plans. Everything from the DJ, the food, to flowers, the ceremony, you name it. During this time, I found myself looking up a lot of different vocabulary words related to wedding planning that I wasn't using in my normal day-to-day life. As we keep going with this video, I think you're gonna see that that's a common theme, having a very unique experience, and because of the memory associated with that unique experience, it's a lot easier to remember certain vocabulary words in Spanish. Watching weird movies. Now hold on a second before you start saying, Alex, that's such a basic piece of advice. Everybody gives that to watch movies. Hold on. It took me forever to apply this run-of-the-mill tip to my actual language learning, because I wasn't being selective with the material, with the movies, with the music that I was consuming. I was just trying to listen to whatever, watch whatever, not actually taking the time to find things that I liked. So obviously that tip didn't work for me. I wasn't enjoying it. The game for me really changed when I started to watch scary movies in Spanish. I adore scary movies, huge horror fan here, and there is so much good Spanish language cinema that is in the horror genre. Just a couple months back, I watched a very, very freaky movie in Spanish called La Huesera. The director slash screenwriter, I think that's the same person, is actually Mexican, a Mexican woman. And this story, I mean, I'm still thinking about it months later. If you're a horror fan, definitely check it out. If you're interested in Mexican cinema, but not necessarily horror, then check out Y Tu Mamá También. This is essential Mexican cinema viewing. I know so many people who say that this is their favorite movie. It's got a storyline that you are not gonna forget anytime soon, so definitely check it out. Depending on where you are in your language learning journey, you might not feel quite up to the task of sitting down to watch a 2-hour movie in Spanish. I get it. If you're looking for some bite-sized, entertaining Spanish language media to consume, then LingoPie, the sponsor of today's video, is just the ticket. LingoPie's extensive Spanish language movie and show catalog has so many entertaining options, but if you're looking for something funny, if you're looking for something weird that is really gonna cement that vocabulary in your mind, then check out Backdoor. I will warn you that it is definitely adult humor, 18 and up, but if that's not an issue, then dive right in. This is definitely a weird way, a funny way to learn Spanish. Each Backdoor episode is right around 3 minutes. You can definitely find 3 minutes somewhere in your day to watch. Lingopie's special language learning features like dual subtitles and adjustable playback speeds mean that even a short watch session will take you a step closer to your Spanish goals. I've got a special discount link for you that will get you a free 7-day trial. Watch a couple of those Backdoor episodes, laugh your butt off, and then with that same link, you'll get 55% off the annual plan. Check it out in the description below, and thank you to Lingopie for sponsoring this segment of the video. Stand-up comedy. Watching stand-up comedy in the language you are trying to learn is going to help you on so many different levels. Not only is it really good for listening comprehension because comics use a lot of slang, they're talking fast, they're changing their voices for different parts of their acts, but it's also really great for cultural understanding. Speaking of comedy and cultural references, this is one of the reasons that I always like to have the subtitles on in Spanish, even when I'm watching a show in English. It's especially interesting if you're watching anything with humor. The Simpsons, BoJack Horseman are a couple of the shows that first come to my mind, because a lot of times they will switch out the cultural references so you can kind of get an idea of what the equivalent would be in Spanish. Of course, like that will differ a little bit depending on whether it's Latin American Spanish or Spain Spanish that the subtitles are translated into. If you're in Guadalajara and interested in seeing some stand-up comedy live, then definitely check out the schedule over at Patan. This craft brewery bar is one of our favorite spots over in La Americana, and I believe that they have open mic stand-up shows once a week. Getting waxed. You may think that you know Spanish. You think you have a good grasp on the language, but I challenge you, if you can have a conversation in Spanish while getting your body hair ripped out with hot wax, then yes, you have a solid grasp of the language. When I was living in Querétaro, I actually switched from wax, left that behind in my past, and bought a package for laser hair removal, which, spoiler alert, isn't any less painful.
Ouch!
I would go in for these, what felt like to me, super long sessions and have to have a conversation in Spanish with the technician, you know, to be polite. I'm from the Midwest, so obviously small talk is in my DNA. I'd be in there, I'd be sweating, so nervous, all tense, ready for the next zap, and trying to keep a conversation going with the technician. This weird way of practicing Spanish really helped a lot to prepare me for the speaking portion of my DELE exam. I was used to speaking in tense, high pressure situations, and because of that, the exam was a breeze. Roller skating. On Instagram, I'd been getting a lot of videos in my algorithm, I don't know how that started, but of people roller skating. And I thought it looked pretty cool and bought a pair of skates to give it a try. Whenever I watch tutorials to try and learn new moves for the skate park, I always try to do so in Spanish. And a lot of kind of the inspo accounts, the skaters that I aspire to be like someday, are based here in Mexico. One of the skate Instagram accounts that I started following was a woman named Akatsali, who actually lives here in Guadalajara and gives skate classes. So I sent her a message, sent her a DM over on Instagram, and started doing classes with her once or twice a week. Taking classes in Spanish to learn something new is an awesome way to level up your language skills. Just like with wedding planning, I have learned so much new vocabulary associated with roller skating, and I've got those core memories now attached to these vocabulary words, so I'm not gonna forget them anytime soon. There's definitely a point as you get more advanced with your language skills that you might think, okay, I'm good. I don't need to take Spanish classes anymore. I don't need to work with a tutor any longer. I've kind of maxed out there. Personally, I am not of that school of thought. I think that everybody can benefit from continued learning with a tutor, but hey, I really like grammar. If you find yourself at that point though, then I want to encourage you to take up a hobby and look for classes where you can develop that skill and take those classes in Spanish. Or if you don't want to take the classes in Spanish necessarily, try to learn your new skill, watch YouTube videos, follow Instagram accounts in Spanish. I hope you enjoyed hearing about the weird ways that I've learned Spanish. I would love for you to share the unique experiences that have impacted your language learning journey in the comments below. I'm Alex from backpackingbrunette.com. Thanks for watching.